Hi, I'm Herb Lawrence from CHGO White Sox.
And I'm Mario Tirabassi with CHGO Blackhawks.
And this is CHGO Tavern Style, which is presented to you by Salerno's Pizza. Head on over to the Grand Avenue location and call 312-666-3444 to make a reservation today. And the NCAA Tournament is upon us, which includes upsets, of course. And everybody and their mama loves upsets, don't they?
Yes.
Mario, tell the folks why you love upsets so much in the NCAA tournament.
The tournament is set up to have upsets. If you're going to have all these teams in it, you're going to have upsets. You're going to have teams that no one's ever heard of, like George Mason a number of years ago, or Florida Gulf Coast, come in and upset the Blue Bloods, knock out a Duke or a North Carolina early on. And it's in the name of the tournament, madness. That's how it's set up. And I think that as many upsets as we see, 15 seeds, 14 seeds, we've seen a 16 seed finally beat a 1 seed. As much as that happens, that is awesome in that first weekend. And it always seems to figure itself out as the tournament goes on. It's very rare to get that team that went on an upset run into the Final Four and everything. It all plays itself out. That first weekend, you get those upsets. You get a 13 seed into the Sweet 16. That's what the tournament's about. The tournament is about getting these teams that no one's ever heard of, no one's ever seen. Missouri Valley Conference gets a winner, and they go to the Sweet 16. That is awesome, because all season long you hear about all the Blue Bloods, the Kansases, the North Carolinas, the Dukes. You hear about all of them all the time. And then when you see them go down, everyone gets the shock, and that's the best part of the tournament.
And if you want to watch March Madness, it's upon us. Watch the Big Dance live at Salerno's on Tap, located at 1201 West Grand Avenue in Chicago, or call us or carry out for delivery. Mention CHGO and get half off your pizza. Mention CHGO when you go in, folks.
Half off the price, not half of a pizza.
Oh, sorry. Half off the price of the pizza. I'm just reading I'm like what is it? Ron Burgundy. So put something in front of me. I'm going to read it. Call 312-666-3444 or just go to salernospizza.com. I hear you. And as a person who used to love upsets, I hear you. Last year, I don't like Purdue. And when a team beats Purdue, like Fairleigh Dickinson did last year, I cheer for that. But you know who doesn't cheer for that? America. Because those wins, right, Fairleigh Dickinson, lead to people going to the tournament or the Final Four that shouldn't, because Fairleigh Dickinson, their next opponent, became Florida Atlantic. 9 seed, who beats a 16 seed, now is going to the Sweet 16. Eventually, they beat a couple other teams to get into the Final Four. And guess what that Final Four was? It was the lowest watched Final Four in history. And that's what America doesn't want to see. They don't know anybody from Fairleigh Dickinson. They don't know anybody from San Diego State. UConn was the eventual champions because they're playing teams that are not qualified. Now, I despise the Blue Bloods like you do. Duke, the North Carolinas, the Kansas, the Kentuckys. But when they're in the Final Four, the eyes are there too. Because as an Illini fan, after the tournament's over, and that's usually after the first weekend for the Illini, sadly to say, I'm done. I don't have any interest in watching the tournament, especially the subsequent round. It's because my team is done, and I don't know any of these other players. Tell me one person from that Florida Atlantic team last year.
I don't know.
Exactly. You, the casual fan, don't know any of those people from the Florida Atlantic team, and that's why we watch, because we want to see the best players play versus the best players on the biggest stage. I get it. Florida Atlantic loves it. Fairleigh Dickinson loves it. University of Maryland, Baltimore County, who upset Virginia for the first 16 over a 1 seed, they love it. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, I think I saw Steve Nash and the Santa Clara team beat Arizona. I was into that. But now, as a grown adult who enjoys great players playing against great players, I don't want to see a lesser team go into that final versus UConn, who is a beast, of course. And so that's why I am not a fan of upsets, especially because my Illini is ranked 4th, or no, the 3 seed. Yeah. If they get upset, it's going to be really bad. And we're talking about upsets. We're not just talking about when a 10 beats a 7. Upsets are defined as when there's a 5 or more seed difference between the two teams. And so, yeah, I am not a fan of that. That's why you get teams like Virginia in the tournament, because people want to see those Blue Bloods to play well. Even though Virginia hasn't played well lately, they won a national championship because their style works. And no one wants to see run and gun Florida Gulf Coast, because name me one person from that team. I can name you people from the Villanova team that happened a couple of years ago. That's why I think that these things are set up for the best teams to win. And I hope this year we come with very few upsets, because that is not what we want to see in the second round at all, Mario.
Well, I mean, that being said, my Final Four bracket is 2 1 seeds and 2 2 seeds. So that's what everyone expects it to be. But I think you get those games where you get the upset. And look, the tournament is beat the team in front of you. And I know you get a lot of people saying like, well, it makes the regular season not matter at all. But that's first seeding.
Thank you.
The conference tournaments are there to get those teams in, but once you're in it, anything can happen, and that's the beauty of the tournament. And I think, do you get no-name teams and no-name players into the biggest stages? Sure, but there's a lot of guys from national championship teams, Final Four teams that I don't remember any of them. So even if they were from, some of those big name programs. So I think there's something to be said for the excitement of something different, something new, something unexpected. And I just go back to a number of years ago when it was Florida Gulf Coast, the first time they went through as the Cinderella team, and they were just dunking on everybody. And it was a team that no one had seen before, no one had watched before, and they're throwing down and upsetting teams. And I just, as a casual viewer of college basketball now, I used to be way more into it when I was younger, but now as more casual, like I want to see the tournament bring that excitement, bring that unpredictability. And then, like I said before, like it does seem like most of the time when you get to the Elite Eight and the Final Four, those teams have been weeded out. But as far as upsets go, like I'm all for them. And I know that my number 5 Wisconsin Badgers are probably going to be bounced in the first round against James Madison.
100%.
It's just going to happen. That's usually what happens with their team.
That's an upset I don't mind seeing at all. But I'll end you with this. That Florida Gulf Coast team, that coach, Andy Enfield, immediately went to USC right after that.
Well,
guess what? Last year, Fairleigh Dickinson's coach, he was there that year. He's at Iona this year. Not in the tournament this year, but he went and got more money. That's what upsets bring, too. They bring more money for the coaches, and those players are just left with their hands out and asking, where's mine next? So that is CHGO's Tavern Style, brought to you by Salerno's. Thank you for joining us. That's Mario Tirabassi. My name is Herb Lawrence. See you later.
We all silly like the mayor.